The Cheez Bowl preview. What's going on, people? Welcome back to the Reefer, Jack Reefer, and I got another banger video for you guys today. But first off, like, comment, subscribe. Let's be special, baby. Let's be special. So both Clemson and Iowa State, I would call this an unexpected season for both teams. Both teams had huge hype coming into this year. I personally thought that Iowa State could sneak into the playoffs this year. Obviously, it just didn't quite happen. The season didn't materialize as they would have wanted. Same goes for Clemson. I thought Clemson was going to be in there. I thought DJ was going to be the guy, and we were going to get into the playoffs, make another strong performance this year. And obviously, didn't quite materialize that way, but it's interesting that both teams that both had high expectations and lofty goals this year, making it to the playoffs, didn't quite work out. Now they're meeting each other. I think it's going to be a great game, though, super competitive. Both teams, they match up pretty well with each other. One key factor to the game, though, is that Breece Hall, the All-American running back for Iowa State, has decided to sit out the game. And I think that'll be really kind of interesting to see how the Iowa State offense changes. Because this past year, and years past too, the offense has really gone through him, kind of ground it first, run the ball first with him, and then let Brock toss the rock and make things happen. Now, the Clemson, nobody's really sitting out. Kind of surprising. I thought that Andrew Booth may sit out, but quite happy that he's not, and I'm excited that we've got just about a full-strength team. Yes, we have some guys that are in the transfer portal, some guys, and I wish them all the best. Everybody that transferred from Clemson, I wish them all the best at their new school, new destination, and I hope they find exactly what they're looking for. But we got to roll with the guys that we got. One notable injury, though, is Balin Spector will be sitting out, as he's just due to injury, just won't be able to compete at a high level. So I respect him a lot for making that decision, but also I'm happy for him. He's had a long career at Clemson. He's done a lot for the university and for the team, the program. I'm happy for him and wish him the best going forward in the future. But we'll see Levante Bentley step in. I'm excited for Levante Bentley, man. I think he's going to be an absolute animal in the middle of the defense for us. And next year, I really want to see a Bentley and Trotter Jr. linebacker core. We'll see about the Trotter Jr. part. Yes, I know he's a freshman, but I just think he's really talented. But I'm excited for the offense. I'm excited for the defense. I think we're going to be a real good showing. DJ's also had time to get healthy, get that knee right. But I still think we're going to see a large dose of Shipley. Now, the offensive line, once again, more time to materialize, mature. It was a very young offensive line this year, but I think we're going to see a healthy dose of Will Shipley, Ship Happens, just running it down their throat. Yes, I think this will also be a big game for Bo Collins to kind of step in and try to establish himself as that number one receiver going into next year. So he's at the end of the season, he's ended the season quite strong, quite similar, honestly, to, I'm not saying he'll be like him, but if we can think back to when Justin Ross's freshman year, when he really came on the second half of the season to light it up and establish himself as a key contributor to the offense, I think Collins has the ability, every bit of the ability, the height, the athleticism to do it and be a number one go-to guy. And this is just a real opportunity to help establish himself as the number one guy, build momentum going into next year. But overall, I think the teams are too evenly matched. Iowa State has an uber-talented linebacker in Mike Rose. I think it'll be super interesting to see how Clemson kind of disguises their offense, kind of work around him, and not let him just kind of read everything that's going on and run downhill. Because if you just try to take the ball and run straight down the gut, no motion, no nothing, Mike Rose is going to sniff that out and make that tackle just about every day. He's a stud linebacker. So I think it'll kind of need to be creative on offense, make things happen. But I think our offense and Iowa State's defense, I would probably give the edge slightly to Iowa State's defense. They just kind of performed better this year. And I just think that the Clemson offense, realistically, we just don't quite know which offense we're going to get. But I still think that they'll put up good yardage. On the flip side of the ball, we don't know what Iowa State offense we're going to get either, which is quite interesting because they're without their stud All-American running back, and Brock's going to have to really kind of carry the load. They got a really talented tight end for him to throw to. But other than that, I think that Goodrich and our other guys in the secondary are going to be able to get the job done. Andrew Booth is going to make some big play, cement himself into that first-round conversation, and he's just going to make some crazy one-handed interception like he always does. He always just makes plays. He is a baller. But I'm excited for it. I think the defense and offense kind of, once again, I'd put more of a emphasis that Clemson's defense is probably better. So I think it's going to be more of a defensive defensive battle. Offenses are both going to struggle. We don't know what Clemson offense we're getting. Iowa State's got their best offensive players, so we don't know what offense they're going to come out with. I think they're going to try and throw the ball a lot with Brock. He's a senior quarterback. He's been over there a while. This is probably his final game. He's going to make things happen, and it's time to put the ball in his hands and say, hey, this is your final game. Make things happen for us. But if I had to guess the final score, I would guess 31-24 Clemson. A little bit of an odd number, I know, but I think this is going to be an odd game. It's in Orlando in the Cheez Bowl. I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach. So I think it's just going to be a fun game, fun bowl game. I'm looking forward to it. I think Clemson gets the win and kind of gets that momentum they need for the offseason. They got some incoming guys that I'm interested in. That offseason momentum you need. Kind of get the guys happy. Like, hey, we finished the season strong. We won the Cheez Bowl. Let's kind of build on that momentum, get back to where we want to be on top of the ACC next year. So overall, I think Clemson wins. I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a fun game to watch. A good matchup by the bowl committee. Very good matchup. And that's all I got for today, people. As always, have a great day. Tell somebody you love them. Deuces.